This is Win News.
Tonight, North Melbourne to play in Hobart for another 5 years. It comes as the Kangaroos go into tonight's clash without coach Brent Scott. The teen accused of a Pontville stabbing has his charge upgraded. Bill Shorten pledges $44 million for Tasmanian tourism. And hundreds gather in Hobart to fight potential cuts to Medicare. Good evening, I'm Georgia Love. North Melbourne will continue to play 3 AFL matches this season in Hobart for the next 5 years after announcing a new deal with TT Line this afternoon. The agreement will also include a long-awaited statewide academy for junior players. For more, we cross to Brent Costelloe, who's at Blundstone Arena for tonight's historic clash between the Kangaroos and Richmond.
Good evening, Georgia. It is a history-making night for Tasmanian football. This game will be the first full match under lights for premiership points in the state. And as you can see behind me, fans are already pouring into the ground. Earlier today, it was revealed Brad Scott won't coach North Melbourne tonight. He was hospitalised in Melbourne late yesterday with a virus, with assistant Darren Crocker set to take the reins against the Tigers. We'll focus on the match later in sport, but as you mentioned, it's been somewhat overshadowed following today's announcement that the Kangaroos will continue to play 3 matches a season in Hobart for the next 5 years. AFL Chief Executive Gil McLachlan and North Melbourne Chairman James Brayshaw were here at Bellerive earlier today. Here's how it unfolded.
It does feel like a groundbreaking day for football in Tasmania.
That's because the worst kept secret is out. The Roos will remain in Hobart for at least the next 5 seasons.
This is really a tremendous day for not only football in Tasmania but for our state. There are immense social and economic benefits to come out of this.
From North Melbourne's perspective, signing a new agreement was a mere formality.
There's not one thing about playing football in this part of the world that hasn't been absolutely superb for our club, so we were very, very keen for it to continue. We always thought it would.
The new deal will expire in 2021 and align with Hawthorn's agreement at Launceston's Aurora Stadium.
It feels like a sort of start of a new dawn of football in Tasmania. We're incredibly committed to this market. We have a clear plan now from the grassroots right up to the elite.
After the Hobart City Council withdrew its support, the state government-owned TT Line stepped up to provide the additional funding required to reach a new agreement. Just how much was paid remains commercial in confidence.
All I can say is that it's a mutually acceptable deal for all parties, and everyone's very happy with it. It didn't come easy. It took us a while to work through it. But
another benefit of the new agreement is the launch of a long-awaited statewide academy set up for Tasmania.
That academy will see young boys and girls have an elite talent pathway to play at the elite level, starting with 11-year-olds, and that'll happen very quickly in the near future.
And that's come at a good time, with it looking more and more likely the state will be without a draftee this year.
I know there are talented boys and girls across this state, and they want to play our game, and we've got to have the right pathways and processes and invest in them.
There you have it. North Melbourne will continue to play 3 matches a season here at Blundstone Arena for the next 5 years. And just repeating, Brad Scott won't take his place in the Kangaroos coach's box tonight. He's still in Victoria after being struck down with a virus, with assistant Darren Crocker to lead the team. I'll be back with all the late mail ahead of tonight's historic clash later in sport, but for now, it's back to you, Georgia.
Thanks, Brent. We'll see you then. And now looking ahead to what's coming up in sport tonight, we cross back to Brent Costelloe at Blundstone Arena.
Thanks, Georgia. Coming up soon, the latest here at Blundstone Arena as North Melbourne prepares to enter tonight's match without coach Brad Scott. Also tonight, Sam Stosur prepares for her semi-final showdown against Garbine Muguruza, and all the highlights from Game 1 of the NBA's final series. All that and more coming up soon in sport from Blundstone Arena.
Thanks. Well, stay with us. Tasmania prepares for a deluge of rain and saving precious artworks at the Louvre as floods sweep Paris. Well, it's time for sport now, and we cross back to Brent Costelloe, who's at Blundstone Arena.
Thanks, Georgia. I'm here for tonight's historic AFL match between North Melbourne and Richmond. Brad Scott won't coach the Roos. I'll have the latest on that next. Also tonight, Sam Stosur prepares for her French Open semi-final at Roland Garros. This will be the first match for premiership points under lights. As you can see behind me, hundreds of fans have already begun arriving for the match. I caught up with some of them a little earlier.
Come down last year and watched them play, and it was their first game last year down here, so they weren't as used to the ground as what North Melbourne was.
Very confident because we play pretty good at Blundstone Arena.
The ruck's the key. The midfielders got to get the ball into the forward line quickly. I mean, this is where we're struggling. Midfielders are losing the ball early.
Who's going to win tonight, boys?
Kangaroos!
Now, if you are coming to the ground tonight, my advice to you is to rug up as it's already very cold here.
Looks like a fairly calm and clear night for the football tonight. But around about 7:30 when the game starts, temperatures are expected to be around 4 or 5 degrees, so not very warm.
It's been a busy day here at Blundstone Arena. Earlier, AFL Chief Gil McLachlan joined North Melbourne Chairman James Brayshaw and Tasmanian Premier Will Hodgman to sign a new agreement that will see the Roos play 3 matches a season over the next 5 years.
I think the Tasmanian people are pretty well looked after when it comes to enjoying an elite product, and maybe we should focus on that a little more and forget about any of the other ifs or buts.
To be standing here, first Friday night game in Tasmania, sold out, North v Richmond, a lot hanging in the balance. Balmy 11 degrees. It's good to be here.
With a new deal now announced, the Kangaroos can fully focus on tonight's clash with the Tigers. A pre-game light show and concert featuring UMI lead singer Tim Rogers is about to start, so I'm going in for a look. Georgia, I'll see you over here soon.
Leave it with me. Thanks, Brent.